So my head is too big to fit this hat on. Alright guys, welcome back to another anatomy and physiology video today. Today we'll be looking at the different structures of the brain through what's supposedly a hat. If you want to print out this activity or find it, just search up brain hat activity. But yeah, other than that, let's get right into the topic of today's video, which is identifying these structures, or the main structures of the brain anyways. So let's look at this blue part here. So all the different structures that are necessary for this activity are different colors. So this dark blue here is the frontal lobe, which would be around here. It would kind of cover this front part of the brain. Then you'd have this red part, which is the temporal lobe. You have the yellow part, which is the parietal lobe. And then you have the purple part back here. It doesn't really exactly fit across my head, but the purple part here would be the occipital lobes. And what's important is that this is the right side, right hemisphere of the brain, and this is what's known as the left hemisphere of the brain. And the occipital lobe on the right side of the brain is responsible for all the images captured by the left eye, and then all the images captured by the right eye is processed through the occipital lobe on the left hemisphere, which is important to understand. Now, looking kind of off to the side here, it's not exactly the best, but these are two different structures. This is cerebellum, the orange part, and then the green is the pons. So it's pretty much these two structures here are separated by what's known as a transverse fissure. Separates it between this temporal and the occipital lobe back here. So these structures are kind of isolated by the transverse fissure. And then this pink part here, which is a little hard to see, but that would be the medulla. It's kind of responsible for maintaining our heartbeat and breathing. It's vital for surviving. Then this light blue part here would be the spinal cord. So as you can tell, spinal cord's back here, but it's off to the side here because of how this hat fits. So those are the main structures of the brain. Now, this line that spreads all the way across the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, kind of divides the two hemispheres, would be what's known as a longitudinal fissure. Kind of splits the brain in half. That's what it's known for. And then if we look a little closer, you can see all these kinds of ridges and like indentures in the brain, kind of like folds of like the brain. So these like little brain ridges here are what's known as a gyrus or gyrus. And then the indentations or depressions, so these lines here, is what's known as a sulcus. And so those are really important in kind of like folding the brain. That's why like when you look at pictures, the brain is always folded. It's because those ridges, those gyruses, are kind of folded together to what forms sulcus or like indentations in the brain. That's what helps keep the brain compact. But yeah, those are the main structures of the brain that are important to know. There's obviously a lot more parts of the brain, which you can divide it even more and more. For example, there are multiple cortexes in the frontal lobe and in the parietal lobe, which, you know, hold all their own different functions. But for this video, these are the main structures, and thank you guys for watching. See you all next time.